So, Alex, are you an indigenous person?
Well, to where? I
No,
mean,
I mean, are you just are you an indigenous person?
well, for the last 5 minutes, I've been indigenous to this chair. So,
Yeah, you're out of focus. You're out of focus. I don't know what.
well, so is a lot of people who ask that question. That always bothered me when people talk about you need to get up, the white man needs to get off our land, and they're talking, some Native American protesters will be talking about that.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here going, look, pal, my ancestors are from Armenia.
Hmm.
They were kicked off their land.
Hmm.
So am I like a perpetual refugee for all of eternity because my great ancestors were kicked off their land? Then what land do I get to go to? Do we just kick off every person that's ever lived on land that several hundred years ago was not their land? I mean, it's just there's so many layers of confusion that never are really addressed. Like, how far back do we have to, what do we have to do to fix
We have
this?
to go back to when the Earth was not populated by anyone. There were monkeys and goats and dinosaurs.
Wait. What land did the monkeys, goats, and dinosaurs have?
That's the problem. We'd have to find out. We'd have to have studies done. Studies have shown that monkeys lived in Washington, and now it's inhabited by pigs. So the monkeys are indigenous, and the pigs have to leave. So
it sounds like it really sounds like if you take this to their logical, not extreme, but logical conclusion, just kill every human being. That's it. Just kill
start all over again. Well, no, actually,
no, don't start all over. Just don't have any human beings.
No. They would save two people who could propagate. That would be tough to find because nobody.
Since it's the left, they pick two homosexuals.
Homosexuals, exactly, and gay marriage. So, but that would be the solution: is to eliminate all human beings and only start with two, an Adam and an Eve.
No. They'd start with two homosexuals. One's a lesbian and one is a gay man. So neither of them would enjoy it.
Right. So nothing would happen. There wouldn't be any procreation going on, right?
Well, no, there would be procreation, but they wouldn't enjoy it. It would not be no.
The reason I asked this question was because today I saw my home state of Massachusetts, their flag has a shield in the middle of it. It's a white background with a blue shield. Okay. And there's a Massachusetts Indian standing with a spear. Okay. And he's in the middle of it. And then there's the motto of the state of Massachusetts. Well, indigenous persons, they're just horrified that, see, now this is where indigenous persons. Now, the Massachusetts Indian, they were the native people there before the Pilgrims set foot on. So here you have the left contradicting itself, where they're in conflict. So one half of the left wants the flag removed because the flag reminds people that the evil white Christians from Europe subjugated the Massachusetts Indians. And then there's another group of the lefties who say, "Oh no! We have to honor the Massachusetts Indian because they were indigenous people. So and we should turn everything over to them. We should sell the state house and sell all the public buildings and give them all free housing and free cars and a free income for the rest of their lives and all the drugs and sex they can consume." Yeah. Because
these people have anything better to do than come up with don't they have anything better to do?
Well, they're unemployed, they're on welfare, so of course they have nothing better to do. They're all academics.
See, I also want to speak to this. I've met some people of Native American descent. It's so unfair to put them all into one group, to say, this is all native land. Which natives?
Yeah, which natives are you talking
about? And also, a lot of people say, "Oh, don't say the word Indian." No, some Native Americans prefer to be called Indians. Mm-hmm. They just don't care.
Right.
Some don't want to be called. Some want to be called indigenous.
It's okay for black people to call white people honkies.
Some people want to call them Sioux, by their tribe name. Yeah. Stop being monolithic about the Native Americans.
This indigenous people, it's actually driving people like Jordan Peterson crazy in Canada, because in Canada they're actually legislating it. So Canada is way ahead of us in terms of
So is South Africa, where it's terrifying. They literally are voting to take the government's guns, and if you are a white person with land, you will be taken it away. You will, and if you resist, you will be shot and killed.
Well, we knew this would happen when apartheid ended.
I mean, that's really scary. Yeah. That's your ancestor did something bad, and now you had nothing to do with it, so you're going to get shot if you resist in any way.
Well, that's what happens to you. You end up getting shot when you oppose the cultural Marxists. Right. But speaking of which, now that we've talked that, I have another question for you, and that is: have you checked your unconscious bias lately? Do you check it every day? Do you? I mean, I'm sure you do things every day. You shower every day. You probably shave. Well, not every day you shave, but I'm saying you eat breakfast and lunch and dinner. So, but during the day, do you check your unconscious biases?
Do I eat my fast? Do I eat during my fast? That's what I think I heard. Because what it sounds like is a contradiction or an oxymoron. Do I jumbo shrimp?
We all have unconscious bias. It's been studies have shown by cultural Marxist academics. Studies have shown that we all have unconscious bias, and we should hire outside cultural Marxist indoctrinators to waterboard us so that we get rid of our unconscious bias.
Just question.
So yeah,
the people who make these studies, are they effectively the people who are hired to waterboard and take power and take hold?
It's the same group, yeah.
So what you're telling me is that this group of this group of useless academics, these people that have no beneficial use to society, have declared, literally just espoused their need to do this useless, unhelpful thing.
Right.
To take control for themselves.
Well, their first step was they did equity training and racial diversity training, and they sold that even to corporations. People like Nordstrom's. I can remember Nordstrom giving this type of. So once they realized, hey, there's a business here. We can con businesses into forcing our employees to undergo waterboarding about their unconscious biases. In fact, in Santa Bumpkin here, we have a group called Just Community Central Coast. They've just been given $250,000 by the Santa Bumpkin School Board that was awarded 2 days ago to train all of the faculty and the students in Santa Bumpkin K through 12 to get rid of their unconscious biases.
Okay.
Now, the funny thing is that
real taxpayer dollar money is going to be spent trying to eradicate a problem that doesn't really exist.
Exactly. Right. And there are no standards. There are no standards for testing the testers. Now, the people who are going to conduct the training, how do we know that they are free from unconscious biases? How do we know?
How do they know? How can anybody know?
If it's unconscious, if I have an unconscious thing, right? I may be unconsciously addicted to blonde women. Okay?
I do recall being indoctrinated with this nonsense when I was in school. When I went to college, a higher institution. I do recall them talking about the basic premise of this was, well, everybody is biased and everybody has biases and you can never fully get rid of them, but you should attempt to try.
That's why it's a great business, because you can never go out of business. It's like making coffins. People are dying all the time. People have biases all the time. You'll never get rid of your biases. So these groups, these cultural Marxists, they have a lease on life. They're sucking at the public tit.
Right. There's no point where it comes. I think there is a line where your biases, but the thing is, when you've crossed the line of, your biases are making you an inhibitor and a problem on society.
My biases are not unconscious. I'm biased towards you, Alex. I'm biased towards blondes. I mean,
Well, you're open about. You also can't. I don't understand how you can remove a bias. I mean, black people get really offended when they hear some white liberal burst in the room and go, "I see no color." That's just garbage. If you are, unless you're colorblind or actually blind, you do detect different amounts of melanin in skin. And you might not necessarily be malevolently biased towards that person, but I don't care how woke you are. You're going to be biased in some way or another towards that person for the simple reason that we are brought up in this society with.
I had an unconscious bias to strawberry ice cream, but it was physically based. Strawberry ice cream used to make me sick as a child. I would throw up. Okay.
Well,
but it wasn't unconscious. It was very conscious. It was very conscious. I prefer chocolate ice cream, and I have a bias towards chocolate ice cream. I don't like vanilla ice cream. I don't like strawberry ice cream. I like chocolate ice cream.
I just like ice cream.
Okay, Alex, that was good. I like it.
I like ice cream too.
Domo arigato and doba.
Oh, and don't forget to help us out on Patreon, guys. You're the best.
You're doing a great job with. You're doing a great job with patrons. We're big in Bulgaria, bigger in Japan. We're now rising in Germany and the Philippines. So we'll be.
Oh, we're doing pretty good in the United States. That too.
All right, Alex. Talk to you later.
See you, man.
Bye bye.